Hello again. In this video I'm going to cover some of the core features that make Notion such a powerful tool for managing people or information. We'll start with some of the basics like what is a workspace, how to use the sidebar the right way, what is a block, and then we'll cover some of the more specific things to the Compact CRM and how to actually navigate without getting lost. So whether you've been using Notion for some time now or if this is the first time you're seeing it, this video will help you understand what you're looking at and how to make the most of it. So starting off, we'll get right into what a workspace is. So everything that you're looking at is a workspace. A workspace is a centralized environment, essentially separated from everything else, for you to put whatever you want inside of it and organize it the way that you want it to be organized. You can have multiple workspaces under a single email, that's called your account, and each of the workspaces can have individual settings, where if I click on the top left and then click settings, you'll see the different options available to my account in the top or my workspace down below. Because the workspaces can be for different things, just like an office could be different whether it's your home office or an actual office that you go into and meet all of your colleagues, that's the way that the workspace is intended to be organized. You can have multiple workspaces, say for your business, personal, resources, or any other reason that you would create a separate location to organize your content. You can have as many as you like, expand it. Notion is infinite, but that's what the workspace is. Inside of a workspace, you have a few main sections. On the side, it's called your sidebar. It's broken up into different areas to help organize the different pages inside of your workspace. So everything that we're looking at here, that's a section for favorites, team spaces, or private. When I click this new button on the top, it's going to create a new page, and we'll call this page 1. We'll call it my first page. Whatever we want to organize, it all belongs in a page to begin with. And the way that we organize content inside of Notion is by using blocks. If you've ever used any editor that you essentially drag the lines up and down, that's the way that Notion does it, and you can see that 6-dot icon to the left of this empty spot right here. And if I click that, you can see that I can move it around, I can put it above the divider, I can drag the divider below it. But the block menu is a lot more than just text. Because if I wanted to write a sentence, I can write a sentence. But I can also access other features. Because we were over here in the Compact CRM, I had to turn the page, which is usually used for notes, into something that can organize my tasks, contents, notes, and meetings. So the way that we do that is using what's called blocks. When you press the slash on the bottom right of your keyboard, the same one with the question mark, it'll pull up the block menu which you can assign or which you can use for different blocks. I'm not going to go into all of the blocks in this video because there's plenty of other videos specific to the blocks that you can use. But some of the blocks that you can use are header for big text, biggest text, and let's do slash again for header 2, bigger text, or slash again for header 3, big text. And then of course, without doing anything else, you just have text. So you can already see that that's a very intuitive way to organize your information on a page, and especially when you start using things like bullet lists to highlight different information, highlight 1, highlight 2, you get the idea. One of the cool things is when you understand the concept of a block, you can really organize anything by just dragging it wherever you want it to be. For example, if I wanted this bigger text or biggest text down below, I'll just drag it above the notes that I put on the page. And that's pretty much where the capability of Notion started. Ivan Zhao, the creator of Notion, the founder, he wanted a software like paper. You can put anything on paper, whether that be notes, blueprints, sticky notes, or even entire blueprints to build a skyscraper. That's what Notion is. You can build whatever system you want using the standard building blocks that you have at your disposal. And when you understand that everything inside of Notion starts as a page, well, a block or a page is also a block. So you can see here by typing slash page, I can create a subpage inside of that page. So I'll call this subpage, subpage 1, and then I'll move up to the top level parent page using the breadcrumb in the top. The breadcrumb is one of the handiest features around because no matter where you are, you can be 5 subpages deep. We'll do another subpage and then another page. No matter where you are, it creates a trail so that you can always go back up a level, and we use that heavily in the Compact CRM. So moving it back up to the top level, you can see that everything on the page is a block. Even a page itself is a block. So using those concepts allow you to create whatever combination of information, such as using a Compact CRM right here to set up a page specifically for tasks. This is only our tasks, and you can see only your tasks. Go over to your contacts, and you move over to your contacts page. And you can see this information right here that's designed and structured in a little bit of a different way. What that is actually a database. We're moving quick in this tutorial because there's a lot of information to give you, but as long as you understand that everything starts as a page, pages are made up of blocks, then you'll understand fundamentally what a database is. A database is simply a collection of pages. If I want to collect all of my tasks pages, I put that into a task database. Every single task that I have, whether I click this button, I click this button, I click down here for a new page, wherever I create a new task, it's always going to find its way to the task database. That same thing occurs for the task, or for any item that you want to organize, such as contacts. We'll move over to notes and we can see all of the notes. And then same thing, move over to meetings and you can see all of the meetings in the meetings database. I'm going to move back over to the others for this tutorial just to close the page links. That's one of those other blocks that you can do, just that toggle down below. And then I'm going to open our first page just to keep going back and forth and show you how that all works. So we have the pages, we have the blocks, we went over the settings a little bit, we went over the workspace, but one thing that we haven't done are the on-page, or the page-specific settings. We talked about the workspace settings up in the top left, but every page also has its own settings. In this top right corner, you have the 3-dot icon where you can change the font if you want it to look a little bit different. I personally say default. Most of the stuff you're going to see is in default, so unless you change it every single time, it gets a little bit confusing back and forth, takes more energy. Other things that you can do are change it from small to big, change it from center width to full width, and we do have some concepts later in the series on why you should use something like full width versus center width. You can lock a page so that there's no editing, and it makes it very easy to use without accidentally moving a block. We get into that later as well. And then you have some other things for import, export, update, version history. One of the cool things about this is whatever you put in here, it's there to stay, and you can always recover it in 5 different ways. That's not in this video, but that is another video that we have to show you all the ways that you can recover information. So that's pretty much the basics of what you're looking at. Sidebar on the left, you can see this page is on the sidebar, and I can move it around the sidebar if I want to organize it a little bit differently. And when you toggle it open, you can go to any subpages on the sidebar as well. And that's really handy when you have certain favorites that have subpages, because on my personal dashboard, if I want to see anything inside my personal dashboard, I can go directly to that from the sidebar. I don't have to navigate back over to the tasks and then find my way over to the personal dashboard. Nope. Just hit that favorite in the settings in the top right. It'll pop over to your favorite section of your sidebar, and you're ready to go. That'll be part of the Compact CRM, and one of the reasons that makes it very easy to use is you can always find it and reset. In video 4 with the advanced techniques, we cover some of the best practices on how to use the sidebar and navigate up and down in the different pages, but for right now, that's mostly what you need. So if you feel like I didn't cover any feature in enough depth, there are a lot of Notion-specific tutorials out there by a lot of really great people. We have some others on our channel as well. But for this video series, we're going to go into the Compact CRM and talk about the specifics and how it's built. It's built using the focus framework to always focus on whatever you want to see at any given moment. And we'll get into the different pages to show you how that focus framework is really expandable and how to make the most out of it so when you succeed, you never really stop succeeding. For example, when you get the hang of the focus framework, you can really find anything within 2 or 3 clicks because you understand what you're doing. And when you get the hang of the focus framework, your world is going to open up and you're going to save so much mental energy trying to find whatever you're going to find. It's going to be right where you put it, and if it's not right where you put it, there are a few tricks to find exactly what you're looking for. So the last feature that we're going to talk about in the Notion specific, we talked about Workspace at large, what the sidebar is and how it can organize pages. We talked about what pages are after that. And then we also talked about blocks and how to organize content on a page. We're not going to get into the fancy details on how we organize databases and every last little thing here in this video, but when we get into the focus framework, you're really going to see it all come together using that simple principle of one database per category. You're only going to have one task database, one contacts database, one notes database, and one meetings database. No matter what it is, you should only have one so that you don't get confused, and everything is able to be found wherever you put it. So with that being said, we're going to move over to the focus framework and talk about our specific way of organizing and why everything is set up in that 2-column left and right with a navigation on top. So next video, see you on over there.